So my sourdough starter has been sitting in the fridge for nearly 24 hours. And I want to see and keep a close eye to see exactly what happens to sourdough starter once it's out of the fridge. So I'm gonna I'm gonna draw a line and put a time, which is 6 p.m. And I want to come back in about an hour and see, has sourdough starter warmed up and grown in the volume, or is it staying as it is? So let's do a little experiment to see what's going to happen. Now I want to check how many bubbles we have on the top of the starter, and it's not many. So I'm going to cover this up and leave it to rest for an hour, and then we're going to come back to check again. So an hour later, I'm gonna have a look and see if the volume has grown in my sourdough starter. And yes, it has, but if you have a look, it's actually a very small increase in the volume. I would say probably about 3 millimeters or so. So that means that although the sourdough starter is warming up and I can see a couple more bubbles, it's not really doubling in size or anything like that. So it's still very in a sleepy mode. So I'm gonna leave and cover it for an hour and come back again to check how it's grown. So this is 2 hours later since I've taken my sourdough starter from the fridge, and let's have a look. So I can see that there has been no increase in the volume, so it stayed the same as I've checked an hour earlier. So that's quite interesting to know. So it's kind of when it starts warming up, it grows in volume, but then plateaus and stops. So I will go ahead and have a look how it looks inside. I definitely can see more bubbles. It's definitely a difference since we've checked an hour earlier. But again, it's not the more bubbles, but no more volume has increased. So I'm gonna go ahead and feed my sourdough starter with some strong white bread flour and some filtered water. I'm gonna add quite a few spoons. I'm thinking about maybe 5 spoons of flour and some water. You probably don't see very well, but in the corners of a jar, you can see some liquid, and it sort of looks like a brownish liquid, and that's hooch. And hooch, basically, whenever you see that liquid on the top of your starter, that means your starter is quite hungry. So this starter has not been fed for nearly 2 days. It has been sitting in a cold temperature. So now that it came out and start warming up, it is becoming really hungry. So I added about 5 spoons of flour and some fresh filtered water. And now I'm just gonna mix it all up. And then the sourdough starter will be left in a room temperature overnight. So anything between 8 to 12 hours. And the next morning, I'm gonna show you what happened overnight. How did the sourdough starter reacted to feeding? Has it been very slow? Hasn't actually been very productive? So what I've noticed a few times after the starter sits in the fridge, it actually, and then comes out of the fridge, gets fed, it becomes very, very productive. I don't know exactly how that works. I probably need to do a bit more research about it, but it's almost like it had the benefit of that cold air. So I'm very excited to show you how it looks tomorrow, and then see you soon.